dozens of outraged people took to the streets today to protest the high price of the EpiPen.
And a new study finds those high-tech devices you may be wearing might not actually help you lose weight.
And the Department of Health is showing Angelenos how to protect themselves from the Zika virus.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Today, dozens of outraged people spoke out against the EpiPen's high price. Good evening, I'm Sonica Bargo.
And I'm Ryan Thompson. The cost of the EpiPen has increased hundreds of dollars, and now protesters at the Health Science campus said today the former dean of the School of Pharmacy has made millions as a board member of the company that makes the EpiPen. Annenberg Media's Abby Brewer talked with some protesters.
More than a dozen protesters arrived at the USC School of Pharmacy this morning, protesting Milan board member and USC professor Randall Vanderveen. Milan is the drug maker of EpiPens, which are used for life-threatening allergic reactions.
What we plan on accomplishing today is holding both USC accountable, the USC School of Pharmacy, also now Professor Vanderveen.
The protesters claimed Professor Vanderveen has made nearly $6 million while serving on the pharmaceutical company's board.
$100 way back in 2007 to I believe it's $600 today.
We reached out to Professor Vanderveen, but his office declined to comment on today's protest. USC student Sophie Lieber has a severe allergy to tree nuts that forces her to carry her EpiPen every day.
What you're supposed to do is you pull that blue thing off and then it releases some sort of lock, and then you stick the orange thing into the outside of your leg and it releases the epinephrine.
For Lieber, the price hasn't affected her.
I've never worried about the price of the pen because my insurance covers it.
But many others, including those out here today, don't have that luxury.
And a lot of us, as you can see, we don't have insurance.
Most protesters here today are in support of Proposition 61, which would allow the state of California to negotiate drug prices with other pharmaceutical companies.
And the price of the medication is just too high.
The LAPD was called to scene and protesters were escorted out of the area. But they say they will continue to fight for lower drug prices. For Annenberg Media, I'm Abby Brewer.
Congress grilled Milan CEO Heather Brush on the recent spike in the cost of the life-saving EpiPen. Congress is outraged that EpiPen costs have skyrocketed 500%, while executive remains high at Milan. Brush collected an $18 million paycheck last year. She defended the price hikes to a skeptical House Oversight and Government Reform Committee.
I think many people incorrectly assume that we make $600 off of each pen. It's simply not true. Recent EpiPen price increases have not yielded the revenue to Milan that many assume.
Okay, well,
Milan announced it will sell a generic version of the EpiPen for $300. House member Jason Chaffetz says he is skeptical that this will hurt Milan's profits.
A second night of protests are underway in Charlotte, North Carolina, after a 43-year-old African-American man was shot and killed by police yesterday. Black Lives Matter activists gathered outside a Charlotte police station to protest the shooting of Keith Lamont Scott. Police claim Scott was armed and didn't follow orders, but many local residents say that Scott was unarmed and actually just holding a book. Protesters say they're frustrated that Charlotte police have refused to release any video of the incident. And the shooting in Charlotte comes on the heels of two other shootings that have taken place around the country in the past week. On the campaign trail, both candidates responded to the violence.
He looked like a really good man, and maybe I'm a little clouded because I saw his family talking about him after the fact. So you get a little bit, different image maybe. But to me, he looked like somebody that was doing what they were asking him to do.
Trump reinforced his support for law enforcement, but questioned whether the officer responsible in one of the shootings was scared or choking before she fired. And the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton also spoke out today, adding that far too many have lost their lives when they shouldn't have.
We've got to do better. And I know we can. And if I'm elected president, we will. And we will do it exactly together.
She maintained that though there is still much to learn about both of these two incidents in particular, they are also part of a bigger issue that, quote, is unbearable and needs to become intolerable, end quote. Protesters gathered outside of the Philippine consulate today.
For more on that, let's check in with our political anchor, Raz, to find out just what the demonstration was about.
Thanks, Ryan Sanica. Today, protesters rallied against President Rodrigo Duterte's plan to bury a former dictator in the National Heroes Cemetery. Filipino dictator Ferdinand Marcos killed over 3,000 citizens extrajudicially during his decade-long regime in the 1970s. The current Filipino president is waging a drug war in the country, which has resulted in the deaths of around 3,000 Filipinos since May alone. Activists at the rally are concerned that history may be repeating itself.
Instead of doing this drug war and instead of relying on extrajudicial killings to wipe out drug abuse and the drug problem, we call on President Duterte to instead stand up for the Filipino people.
By attacking directly drug pushers and drug users even, it's failing to see the nuances of what's really happening in the Philippines, which is really the rampant poverty.
Students at USC are also concerned by Duterte's bold move.
The cemetery is where heroes, identified heroes of the Philippines have been buried, and Duterte is essentially saying, we should move Marcos there. And a lot of people are against that because of Marcos' history. But Duterte, there's a lot of, he's a very interesting man, and now he has become the president of the Philippines. Was inaugurated June 30th, and since then, over 3,000 people have perished, essentially through this drug war of Duterte. He's a very polar figure in the Philippines.
Filipinos in the U.S. remain pessimistic over the human rights violations and worry that the killings may continue.
While gentrification is a hot topic in Los Angeles, residents of the neighborhood of Boyle Heights have seen many changes in their community, and some aren't happy about it.
I hear a lot of the community complaining about, this stuff is going to come in and the prices are going to go up. Prices are already going up, and we don't have to wait for that time to come. It's already affecting us right now.
Some activists blame apartment developers and art galleries for the changing landscape of their home, but one longtime gallery operator says he is being unfairly targeted.
We've been involved in much work around the issues of displacement and gentrification. We've been having these talks openly and with the public and with other artists and with other arts organizations since 2009.
A tenants' right group plans to protest tomorrow afternoon at Lafayette Park.
The parents of a USC grad student who was killed last year in a car crash near campus filed a wrongful death suit today against the university and the driver. The lawsuit alleges the driver, a DPS officer, was short on sleep when he crashed into the student's car. Kelsey Dresser died after she was hospitalized. She was only 23 years old.
And the Department of Health is showing locals how to protect themselves against the Zika virus.
And good news for LAUSD students, summer just got a little bit longer.
Later, we'll show you what some students are learning at a bicycle workshop on campus.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
have heard about Zika in Florida, but there have been 67 cases in Los Angeles as well. Today, the LA Department of Public Health announced a new campaign to educate people about the disease and how to prevent it. City and county health officials have teamed up with the humanitarian organization to train volunteers to get the word out about the Zika virus.
We're going to knock on the door to advise everyone, what is Zika?
Public health officials say no local species of mosquitoes have been identified as carrying the virus, but mosquitoes could get infected by someone who got the disease in another country.
We ask everybody who has traveled to a country with Zika, when they come back to Los Angeles for the next 3 weeks, to protect themselves from mosquito bites.
The best way to do that is to use insect repellent. The new campaign also has other tips for LA residents on how they can protect themselves.
Around the home, keeping the mosquito numbers down and getting rid of any places where mosquitoes reproduce is key.
Mosquitoes that carry the Zika virus can breed in very small amounts of standing water. So those flower pots in your yard, drain them or drill holes in the bottom to make sure they don't become a home for mosquitoes. People should also get rid of trash and other containers that might hold water. One state lawmaker says all Californians need this information.
The state's responsibility is to make sure that the public knows how to, number one, how to protect themselves, what services are available, and what can be done.
The Department of Public Health is holding a Zika prevention workshop this Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon at the Dharma Seal Temple in Rosemead.
Classes next year will begin 1 week later in the Los Angeles Unified School District. The school board approved the decision yesterday, but some teachers and students are concerned that the changes won't give students enough time to prepare for testing.
For our AP, our advanced placement students, when they literally don't have that much time to study, it really puts them at a disadvantage because you're given an exam that is college level.
A lot of the research on summer break has shown that, particularly for students in low-income communities, sometimes a long summer break can be detrimental to students.
LAUSD Board President Steve Zimmer supported the later start. He said, quote, "The new calendar represents the best way to meet our commitment to the entire LAUSD family. The school year will start on August 22nd next year and is scheduled to end on June 9th.
And a new study suggests that wearable fitness trackers like Fitbits and Jawbones might not be as helpful for weight loss as they seem. Annenberg Media's Katzy Steffen tells us why.
If you're trying to lose weight, the path to lasting results may be more than 10,000 steps long.
I actually got my Fitbit to look at my sleeping patterns. I actually work out a lot, and so I didn't need it as a motivator for working out, which I think a lot of people do.
The Journal of the American Medical Association released a study about wearable fitness devices and their connection to weight loss. The study found that overweight adults who used a wearable fitness device lost less weight over a 2-year period than those without the devices. The lead author of the study has a theory for why this is the case.
One thing that could be going on is that the people start focusing so much on what that activity tracker is telling them that they lose sight of all the other important behaviors that are key to weight management.
At Future Health here in downtown LA, they say weight loss is about more than just counting steps. They say it's about educating their clients about the whole body, something trackers like this might not be doing.
One of the biggest things is also that we just have a lot of misinformation out there. You know, you're constantly bombarded with different diets and what different trainers are doing, and you have fads and TV shows. So who the hell do you listen to?
Wearable technology measures calories burned by walking. Kazmarek says this isn't the best way to lose weight.
The whole mindset of I'm going to take in 1,000 calories in, and then as long as I'm going to burn 1,000 calories off, is completely absurd, because your body will store certain calories as fats, and you will not burn them off.
But both Fitbit and Jawbone say they are certain that the wearable devices encourage healthy lifestyles. In a statement, Fitbit said they are confident in the positive results users have seen. Jakisik says wearable devices can still lead to weight loss if the user understands the importance of diet and exercise, even if they only take baby steps. For Annenberg Media, I'm Katzy Steffen.
When in Rome? Well, not anymore. The Italian capital canceled its bid for the 2024 Olympics today, narrowing the field and leaving a brighter path for Los Angeles to host the Games. Paris, France, and Budapest, Hungary join Los Angeles as the cities vying for the 2024 bid. The cities still must confirm their application and public endorsements by October 7th.
Well, it's hot outside.
Yeah, no wonder why I'm sweating through this suit. Let's check in with James McDaniels for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, definitely. It's been pretty hot lately, and of course that brings along some fire danger. We actually have a fire weather watch going on in parts of LA County. This is mainly due to gusty winds and relatively low humidity, and this is going to stay in effect until 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Let's take a look at your current conditions right now. It's a beautiful day, 76 degrees, fair weather, sunny skies, and only winds at 5 miles an hour. Now, as we head over to the LA area, let's head east first to San Bernardino, Riverside. Well, let's not do that. Okay, let's just go to the 5-day forecast then. So we've got, first we're going to start in the low 80s, and then we're going to go all the way up until maybe even the low 90s by the end of the week, into the weekend, and beginning of next week. So that's your weather. And right now, let's head over to Journey with James. So this week, every week this semester, I will be showcasing different USC clubs. This week, I traveled to Long Beach to watch the USC Dragon Boat team show how physically demanding the sport can be. Every weekend at Mother's Beach, members of the USC Dragon Boat Club suit up for a few hours on the water. But this isn't just another relaxing day at the beach. The co-ed team is hard at work preparing for its next competition in November.
I'd say the form is the key thing for Dragon Boat, because you think that you're using your arms to row and you need a lot of upper body strength, but really it's all in your core and how you move your body when you're rowing and paddling.
The team practices around the Naples neighborhood in Long Beach, but uses channels when preparing for an upcoming competition. There are 22 people in each boat, and races are usually 200 or 500 meters long. The sport is different from rowing because there are 2 people per bench, so you have to stay in sync with the person in front, behind, and beside you.
It's a very disciplined sport. It teaches you to work with people and communicate with other people, and it's taught me a lot of discipline, just to get my work done and then do the sport that I really love.
The team focuses on conditioning and technique the first half of the semester before turning their attention to practicing race sets.
USC, beat the form!
The team finished second in this year's College B Division Final at the Long Beach Dragon Boat Festival. If you would like to join the USC Dragon Boat team, you can contact them on Facebook. It was a lot of fun out there, and seeing how competitive those guys are and how really good they've gone in just the first couple of weeks.
No, I mean, you look at that forecast, it's going to be hot, and sometimes it's just too hot to go outside here in downtown LA.
Yeah,
it's nice to get some fitness out on the water and stay cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they look really fit, and I hope they do beat the farm.
Nice. Thanks, James.
You're welcome.
It's no secret biking around campus can be dangerous at times. Annenberg Media's Tommy Brooksbank joins us from the Media Center with more on a workshop aimed at improving bike safety.
That's right, Sonica. Safety is key, especially with all the construction projects going on. I spent some time today with a student faculty club that's giving students tips for safer cycling.
Chaos. That's the only way to describe navigating through campus. Students on bikes and skateboards have to dodge pedestrians, deal with construction obstacles, and avoid colliding with one another.
We either need to have bike lessons, or I don't know, everyone needs to pick up their heads.
We need some stop signs, maybe some lights, because everybody's just chaotically riding around everywhere.
I don't appreciate their lack of respect, and honestly, we should just ban bikes and ban people who bike.
The dangers of biking extend off campus as well. Since the start of the semester, there have been 9 reported bike crashes on USC's surrounding roadways, all vehicle related. In order to raise awareness of the issue, the USC Bicycle Coalition and USC Administrative Operations invited students to participate in a bike safety workshop today.
We're here basically spreading the word about bicycle safety and how to be safe out there on the road.
The workshop reviewed basic bicycle maintenance, helmet fitting, and reviewed signals bicyclists should use around campus, especially in construction zones.
There's an extraordinary period of construction going on campus and off campus. We wanted to make sure that during that construction period, people who rely on taking Figueroa or Jefferson knew alternative routes to take so that they could safely get around.
Now, this walkway next to the United University Center is one of the most congested construction spots on campus. Students are required to walk their bikes, a safety move the Bike Skills Workshop emphasized.
The safety tips raised at the event seem to be ignored by students. Only 6 showed up to the workshop. Event organizers encourage students to stop by their safety session next month.
Now the USC Administrative Operations also announced both Jefferson and Figueroa will get bike-friendly makeovers in the near future. Ryan, back to you.
Women's athletics have been on fire right here at USC.
Yeah, they really have. Let's toss it to our sports anchor, John Marcus.
The women of Troy have been unstoppable. UCLA comes to town tonight to take on the volleyball. Late. Also, women's soccer has been able to hold their own with several shutout performances. And there's a new starting QB in town. The last time the Trojans made the switch mid-season, a Heisman Trophy winner was born.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Welcome back to ATVN. Let's take a look at the pitch, where the number 10 women of Troy have been nearly unstoppable after winning their last 6 matches in shutout fashion. Head coach Kadani McAlpine is nothing short of impressed to start the season at 6-2.
It's attention to detail. We talk about doing small things really well all the time. We train small techniques and how to tackle and how to use your body and when to step in front. So we train a lot of detail work so that it becomes second nature when the game hits.
You can thank none other than goalie Sammy Jo Prudhomme for the stellar shutout ball. She sat down with Sports Scene's Alexa Palermo about what has been working so well.
It was fairly easy. The girls made it great. I love my team. My team is very supportive and very was there with me through like a really tough time.
12 conference play this Friday against the Arizona Wildcats. You can catch the game at McAllister Field at 3 p.m. Out to the pool, the number 2 men's water polo team is riding high after a head coach Jovan Vavic notched his 500th career win last week against number 5 Stanford. Moving forward, the team travels back to the Bay Area for the Mountain Pacific Invitational in Berkeley for 4 matches. The Trojans will play Santa Clara in their first match on Friday and then will face off against the winner of Long Beach State and UC Davis. Moving on to football, there's no rest for the weary Trojans after suffering a loss in the Bay Area last weekend. The team will fly to Utah tomorrow to take on the number 24 Utes in a Friday night matchup. Captain Jory Jackson knows that this game will be a huge test for the season.
In life, there's only 2 things: you're going to be the answer or the one that makes excuses. And so, obviously, we got to be the answer, not the one that makes excuses. Just because we have 2 losses, we just got to go out there and keep playing because nobody's going to care whether or not what's going on with our season.
In addition to Jackson returning to the offensive side of the ball this week, head coach Clay Helton made a dramatic change to the offense, putting redshirt freshman Sam Darnold at the helm in Salt Lake City. In this unprecedented move, we look back and see the last time the Trojans made this big of a shakeup mid-season. 18 years ago, a true freshman named Carson Palmer played quietly as the backup to Mike Van Raphorst. The 1998 team was ranked as high as 18, but after losing 2 of 3 games and dropping out of the top 25, then head coach Paul Hackett named Palmer to the starting role. But the similarities don't end there. Palmer and Darnold are both Orange County natives, and they only got second half reps early in the season before taking over the starting role. Also, Palmer was 2 years younger than Van Raphorst, just as Darnold is to redshirt junior Max Brown. We'll see if Sam Darnold has what it takes to compare himself to the Heisman Trophy winning, three-time Pro Bowler and 2015 Comeback Player of the Year, Carson Palmer. Only time will tell, but man, I am looking forward to Friday night against the Utes. It's going to be a good game. It's good on short rest, but they could do it, I think.
Hey, there's a lot to learn from this. We'll learn a lot.
No, there's a lot. Dory Jackson brings a lot of spark to the offense. It should be interesting.
Should be a good game. Go Trojans.
Well, it's a match made in heaven.
We'll show you how two popular apps have come together for the perfect search next.
The earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov/earthquake today.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today?
Let's do those pearly whites, man.
Yeah! The boys, check it out. Stand up, do my terrorists, gonna compare us. Go!
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir.
See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Well, Tinder? Yeah, they're swiping right on Spotify. Starting this week, the dating app's newest feature gives you the option to match with people based on common music preferences. Tinder's partnership with the music streaming service will allow users to showcase their top artists on their profiles. Singles also have the option to add an anthem. The app already pairs people based on compatible interest, but music is just the latest way you can find your match. I think that's pretty cool. Honestly, a lot of my past girlfriends, they've been solely based on music interests, and it's just where it starts and we go from there, and this might be new stuff.
Yeah, I totally judge people based on their music interests, so this is a great idea.
It's really important to have a good mixtape.
It's live or die. Come on.
Yeah.
Well,
Gotta go for One Republic fans.
One Republic fans?
One
That's
Republic.
the move? Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I gotta keep it classic.
Like how classic? Like Wagner classic or like?
I think, just a little bit of everything is the best way to do it.
Yep, great.
Sure. All right, guys, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Sonica Bargo.
And I'm Ryan Thompson. You can catch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.
Here's your check.